Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Destiny Sanchez.
And I'm Brendan Conroy. We have made it to the next round of the MLB playoffs as both the American League and National League Championship Series are underway. With both series tied at 1 game apiece, this is a huge week for the 4 teams remaining. Destiny, with the World Series creeping up, what are you expecting to see out of these teams left standing this week?
You know, Brendan, Game 3 at Fenway, game time temperature upwards of 50 degrees. This is the perfect conditions for some fall baseball. I'm going to start with the Astros. We've got sluggers like Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa. They are the package deal right now. It's the 4th time they've homered in the postseason game in the same game. If they could bring in Michael Bentley, you know, he's been slacking a little bit. If he can wake up his bat, I think that trio will be a really strong offense. Moving over to the bullpen, I don't really see much versatility amongst the pitchers. A lot of the pitchers are really similar, and that causes the offense to anticipate what is coming, and we've seen it because the Red Sox have been winning. So I think the Boston has the upper hand with the bullpen.
I could not agree with you more about the bullpen. As we've seen, the Astros, phenomenal offense, phenomenal bats. We'll take a look at a clip in a little bit, but when it comes to their pitching, they have struggled. They can put as many runs up on the board as they want, but when they're playing the Red Sox, they got to remember the Red Sox can hit too. They love the late game. The Red Sox excel in the late game. They're going to be coming to Fenway, the Astros, so when they get in Fenway, they're going to need to make sure their pitching is stellar because especially at home for the Red Sox, their bats are awake. Game 1, the Astros, however, took a strong spot right there. Carlos Correa, we'll take a look over here at a big home run that ended up giving them the lead in this Game 1 right here. As you can see right there, just a shot. He knows it too. He's standing there walking. That's how far it went. They ended up winning this game 5-4 in the end. So they put up a few more runs on there, but Astros got the win. The next game, like you were saying, their bullpen, subpar. They gave up 2 grand slams, which means they had to load the bases twice and still gave up 2 grand slams. So coming into Fenway this upcoming week, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. The Red Sox, these Boston Red Sox, 2 words, Fenway Park. I don't care how many times I have to say it, the Red Sox go off at Fenway. You saw it against throughout the whole postseason so far. They've played 3 games at home. They've won all 3 of them. They won the wild card, like I said last time. They just are so good at home. Kike Hernandez, I know you like that guy. He is the only Red Sox hitter, other than David Ortiz, to have 5 home runs in the postseason so far. We still have more baseball left, so much more baseball. The Red Sox are winning right now 6-0 in the top of the 3rd. So all these games, if they win, they'll have even more games. The Red Sox are just so stellar. Their bats are on fire. JD Martinez, you know he's been in a little bit of a slump, but he did a pretty good, cool thing last game in Game 2 of the ALCS at Fenway. Right here. So this is the first inning with the bases loaded, and this is in Houston. So as you see right there, it puts it to the right field side. Oppo slam right there. That put the Red Sox up. They ended up winning 9-5. Like I said, the Astros have the bats, but when the Red Sox got their bats hot, they were able to put the Astros away and get that win. They're up to, or tied 1-1 rather, going into Fenway.
Brendan, I think this will be the first time you hear me say this, but the Red Sox are looking pretty good right now. I mean, come on. JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, and clutch player Kike Hernandez. And I want to dive into a little bit about his presence in the batter's box. Take a look at this picture right here. Former Dodger. When he was at the Dodgers, he was a little bit outside and a little bit further away from the plate. And this caused him to have to search for this away pitch down right here. And he also has this inside pitch here. Very big strike zone. Coming over to the Red Sox, him right now, he's more on top of the dish. He's really searching for that middle inside pitch. Shortening his strike zone is really going to make it harder on the pitcher, easier on himself because he's only looking for that one pitch and he's not going to go for anything else. And, you know, that adjustment he's made has changed his entire game. I've seen JD do it as well. And, you know, having the offense make these adjustments with the Red Sox has been very beneficial for them. Moving over to the National League, Dodgers and the Braves. Matchup we've seen before. These 2 teams are hungry. They have the urgency to be in this World Series. So talk to me about what's going on in the National League.
So I'm very excited about this National League side for one reason and one reason only. Down go the defending champs. Their confidence is so down bad right now. They are in no spot to come back. And I know people think that, they're going to be the powerhouse in these next couple games. The Braves took a 2-0 lead. They have kept the Dodgers to so few runs that they're able to hit those walk-offs. Yeah, 2 games in a row were walk-offs for the Braves, but the Dodgers, they're in their own head. They have not been producing. They've not been doing much. Chris Taylor in Game 1, how did they not tie it? Because he got caught in a rundown after a single. If he had stayed at second or just gone for third, they would have been fine. They know how to do these things, but when they get into their own head, when they're playing a 1 seed as a 4 seed, they know that they're a good team, but when the Braves are the 1 seed, it kind of gives them a mentality like, hey, this team might be better than us. We're the defending champs, but they actually can show up, their pitching can show up, and they can show out.
I'll have to agree with you. The Dodgers haven't been performing well in the latter half of the game. I do see a lot of positives, though, still with the Dodgers. Mookie Betts has gotten on base almost every time he's at bat. Cody Bellinger, he's starting to find the ball more. He's really making contact with that ball. Scherzer, I talked about him last week. He has so much energy. He's an adrenaline junkie. He pitches with a lot of emotion, and he has competitiveness throughout the entire series so far, and I think he's only going to turn it up from here. My only concern with the bullpen is the fatigue factor. He's looking really good right now, and I'm afraid that he's going to use up all of his good pitches now when he's going to need that if he goes against Houston or Boston. So my concern is using them too much right now, and I think that they should save Scherzer and the other pitchers that are really strong for the Dodgers for further down in the line. I think what's going to really differentiate these two teams is who is giving that last push to win these games. And right now, that's the Braves. The Braves, they finished really strong in the 9th inning in their last game. They won 5-4. And, I'm looking at players like Freddie Freeman to kind of pick up the slack a little bit. You never know when players are going to get into slumps, and he's struggling a little bit right now. I think he's a little in his head. He's overthinking. If he can just, play his own game, he is a good player. He needs to know in himself that he's a good player. He can really perform really well. And moving over to the bullpen, Anderson, that he made his postseason debut last year. He has a really neutralizing changeup, more of a breaking ball than a slider. When the offense adjusts to Anderson, he's not scared. He adjusts right with them. And, I think that's a really good characteristic to have with a pitcher.
Yeah, and looking at the Braves, like you said, I don't know why. You can call me crazy, but I like this team as a walk-off team. I went to visit them this summer. I saw SunTrust Park, and they had a walk-off that game in the bottom of the 11th. This team is just coming together very well. Unlike the Dodgers, they're a fourth quarter team. They're a 9th inning team. Coming off of 2 walk-offs is phenomenal. Their one guy, Austin Riley, he has been a pivotal player for them in Game 1. He's 9 for 17 throughout the entirety of the postseason, so already batting phenomenal, over 500. And when it comes to that Game 1, he had a game-tying single and then an RBI single late in the game to give them that walk-off. Looking over at Game 2 for the Braves, still, they kept it up, another walk-off. They are just in such a good spot right now, and let's not forget what month it is. It is Jocktober. It is such a good time right now to see Jock Peterson back in his element, especially on Atlanta. We saw him in Game 3 of the NLDS against Milwaukee. He had a 3-run shot. That was the only 3 runs of the whole game. So these Braves are getting their bats together. I like what you said about Anderson and his breaking ball. They know what they're doing right now. They are slowly getting an idea of how to beat these LA boys. And if they can do that, they will be in such a good position heading to the playoffs. Hopefully to either see the Red Sox or Houston, but either way, we hope to see them. I have a lot of confidence that we will in the World Series. With both the ALCS and NLCS concluding by this Sunday, we are bound to see a week of intense playoff baseball. That will do it for this edition of Penn State Sports Night. Stay tuned for more MLB content as we approach the end of the season. For Destiny Sanchez, I'm Brendan Conroy. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you for watching this edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also, follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.